I think it's appropriate for this to be a second further temporary order if the court chooses to go on the merits. There is one other case waiting. And for these parties, I believe, Your Honor, we don't have any agreements with regard to the younger two we're wishing to add. And the father has pending criminal matters. The victim is Ms. Rodriguez, and that appears to be set for the end of June 2024. It's the state's understanding that while visitation was in place for Victoria Morales Rodriguez, that has not been exercised in part because of the pending criminal matters, but potentially just other difficulties, Your Honor, that the parties can get into when testifying.
All right, well, I don't want to go too far down that path if he's still got criminal matters pending because of the self-incrimination. I do need to know whether or not he's out on some type of bond and does a copy of the bond so we can get the restrictions. And I'm probably looking at pointing that Litem just to cover everything based on these circumstances to represent the children. There's not an ad litem in this one, right? I didn't see one.
Not yet, Your Honor. And as far as your question for bond conditions, Mr. Morales' attorney was able to forward that over to the state, and I can certainly send it over to the court and any ad litem you appoint. I believe the other issue Mr. Morales was wanting covered was changing the child support amount, a reduction based on his difficulty getting work since the arrest in April of 24.
That was February. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Morales, you're not driving, are you?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, you need to pull over, sir. I don't do hearings for people while they're driving. Ma'am, you're not driving, are you?
No, I'm parked.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, then. All right, ask both of you to raise your right hands, please. You both solemnly swear or affirm your testimony gonna give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, thank you both very much. I'll allow the state to go ahead and call your individual witnesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Rebecca Rodriguez. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Rebecca Rodriguez.
Who are the children in this case?
Victoria Nicole Morales Rodriguez, Vanessa Rodriguez, and Marisol Morales Rodriguez.
How are you related to them?
I'm their mother.
How old is each of these children?
Victoria just turned 9 years old, and Vanessa is 5 years old, and Marisol is 3 years old.
And ma'am, who is the father of these children?
Margarito Morales.
Were you able to hear my opening statement to the court?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, so in this case, ma'am, you're familiar with the further temporary orders that were obtained in district court before that court allowed it to come back to this court, correct?
Yeah, which haven't been practiced at all, but yeah.
Sorry, would you please repeat that last part?
The order that was set hasn't been practiced by either parties. I would take them and stuff, but he would never pick them up or pay child support.
Thank you, ma'am. So while you understand there are orders, judge has signed them, neither you nor Mr. Morales have been following them, is that correct?
No, I have been taking my kids to the police station as the order says, like where we're supposed to meet and everything, but he never shows up. And I do have proof of everything. Like I took pictures every time that we would go and he wouldn't go.
Okay.
And all of that.
Are you needing the orders changed at this time?
I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that.
So you're fine the way they are?
I don't mind them. I mean, they haven't, like I said, I've never experienced the actual, process because he doesn't pick them up or anything. So I'm not sure. I don't receive any money either. So you know what I'm saying? Like you're asking me this, but I want to enforce him to pick them up and to pay child support, if that makes sense.
All right, ma'am. I can't force you to pick the children up, but I can do enforcement on child support. I just need to, I got to have something filed, and I haven't had anything filed on either circumstance at this point as far as changing that order is concerned. But I'll let the state proceed with questioning at this time. I don't see what we can do until we get some more pleadings on file if necessary.
Ms. Rodriguez, has there been any change to your children's health coverage since the second further temporary order was done?
No, ma'am.
And are you aware of Mr. Morales' circumstances changing since we did the second further temporary order?
No.
So as far as employment, criminal charges or convictions, they're all as they were back when that happened?
I don't really know. I don't have any communication with him at all.
When is the last time you and he did communicate?
I couldn't put a date on that. I don't know.
And as far as the app close order, were you able to put that in place and invite him to that?
The app or what?
Yes, ma'am, app close. Is that term familiar to you?
Yeah, I set it up and everything, but he never accepted the invitation. He was never on our profile or anything. But yeah, I have proof of that as well.
Okay. Is there anything else, Ms. Rodriguez, the court needs to know right now before I move on to asking Mr. Morales questions?
Yeah, I do feel like my kids have suffered a lot in this process, and my main concern is, you know, he be a father to my kids, and I heard him that he wants to lower the child support or whatever. I mean, to me, that doesn't matter however much he's going to pay. I just want him to be a present father to our children, and that's
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, be back in just a moment, ma'am. Call your next witness then, Ms. Mungat.
The state calls Mr. Morales. Sir, what is your full name?
Margarito Morales.
And would you agree, sir, that the three children mentioned by Ms. Rodriguez are your biological children?
Yes.
And sir, are you familiar with the second further temporary order that was done in district court before the matter came back to 4D court?
Yes.
And sir, what changes, if any, are you asking the court to make today?
The thing is the child support due to the situation, the criminal records I have. It's been hard for me to maintain a job.
And so, sir, have you actually made attempts to get work?
Yeah, I've been applying in places, but once they check my background that shows the pending felony, they deny me.
And so, sir, was your request for the court to set support at 0 or just go with minimum wage since other than your criminal background, you could at least do that type of work?
Yeah, I can pay minimum wage.
Do you have any other children besides the three in this case?
No.
And sir, do you know what is their current health coverage?
No, ma'am, I don't.
And sir, at your prior job, was that kind of benefit available for dependents?
I can't remember. I really can't.
Okay. Anything else on the support issue, sir, you wanted the court to know?
No, that's it. I mean, as long as like I can get a set order from the judge saying I can pick up the kids, I'm willing to pick them up. But I can't. How do you say it? I'm not gonna put my freedom at risk dealing with her.
And sir, as far as you understand it, the prior orders with regard to visitation were only for your oldest child, not the younger two, is that correct?
Correct.
And so, sir, have you attempted to exercise the possession of your oldest child?
No, ma'am. Due to the same circumstance, because I don't trust the other party. It's it's been a heck of 2.5 years. A year and a half dealing with this process.
And sir, since there are orders for your oldest child and you're saying you don't trust the other party, how will that change if your two
I
younger
mean,
children are specifically named?
yeah, I already like I had a court to make some modification on my bond, saying I was allowed to be with my kids. Because in the previous bond condition, I couldn't be around kids.
Did the court change that, sir?
Yes, sir. But
And when
whenever
did
I
they do
went
that?
when I went in front of the judge for the cases, he wanted the state to actually finalize the visitations before I actually went to go pick up my daughters, just so it can be something set on file, because it was
And
all
who's the judge?
temporary.
Well, it's not going to get 5 lines anytime soon based on these circumstances, sir. So I'm not sure what we can do for you.
Can you repeat that?
I'm not sure. We're not going to come. We're not going to be able to do a final order in this case for a while. So I'm not sure what we'll be able to do for you. You saying that the district judge wanted something final?
Not final, but ordered, like court ordered. You know what I'm saying? Like, show it in court that I'm eligible to go pick up the girls, since the temporary order was only for like 6 visitations, and due to Ms. Rodriguez missing the last couple courts, I don't know what was the next process.
All right, sir. And when did the district court change your order allowing you to be around children?
It was December 15th of 2024.
All right. Did you send a copy of that over to the state?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Bongard, you got a copy of that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. All right. No one's filed a motion to modify anything here. So we just, I think everybody just showed up here today and has a bunch of things they want the court to do. That's probably beyond the purview of what the court can do based on the fact there's not a single proper motion before the court with no other side. So,
Question.
yes, sir. What's your question?
Do you have a date on that bond condition, or because I have a screenshot where my lawyer sent me where it says the bond has been modified. My bond condition.
The state says she has a copy of that, sir, from and I'm assuming it's the one from March you just testified to.
Yeah. Well, they don't have the new one?
I mean, the one from December.
Yeah, that one's the modified one. That one says I'm allowed to be
That's what she says she has.
Okay.
Your Honor, what I have has Mr. Morales' signature dated 2/13/24. So I'm not sure what else is in his attorney's file, but that is all I have at this point.
Okay. All right. You do not have the new one from December then.
No, Your Honor.
These are legend. Okay. All right, sir. We're gonna need a copy of that. I'm gonna need to give the kids a lawyer. It's 5:15 in the afternoon, and there's no motions on file to change anything of the prior order. So this is Kirk's new, this is Mr. Glass's new case. I'm going to go ahead and appoint Mr. Glass as the lawyer for the children to see if he can cut through some of this minutia and figure out what we're going to do here. Here's the deal, sir. Have you paid any child support in the last year to the mom?
Yes. It's been like a
All right.
month or 2 months since I stopped due to the background check that the company did it yearly.
All right.
But before that, he only paid for 2
Okay,
months.
stop, ma'am. You're not the witness now. Does the state have a copy of the financial activity report in this case? I don't see one right now.
Yes, Your Honor, I have it pulled up, and it looks like Mr. Morales did make payments up to December 10 of 24.
Okay. All right. Here's the deal, folks. I get it. You're not lawyers. Y'all both asking me to do things. And normally the court, nobody knew. Well, there are no pleadings on file to add, as far as I can see in the court file, to ask me to change anything in any order in this case. And there needs to be pleadings on file for me to, for everybody to be aware of what we're trying to do one way or the other here. Right now, the dad says he's got a new order saying he's allowed to be around children. The state has an old copy of an order that doesn't include that. What I'm going to do under my own motion is appoint a lawyer to represent the children to get a copy of everything that's necessary and to get this and to get back before the court. But at this time, I'm not looking at changing anything in the order dealing with visitation. I'm not looking at changing anything in the order dealing with child support. until I can get, well, again, until I get at least 3 days notice on those items. And now I'll count the day as the first day, but I'm not going to go ahead and go into all this change on this thing at 5:15 on a general docket day. I said in my morning speech, I don't do contested cases during this docket, and this is contested, and I've got and it is what it is. So I'm looking at giving I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent the kids. I'm going to give the attorney the opportunity to get up to speed on this one. And sir, if you're going and you need to get a copy to Mr. Glass, Kirk Glass will be the attorney that I'm appointed to represent your children in this case. Everything's going to run through him now, as far as his request on behalf of his clients. He's the lawyer for all 3 kids. Doesn't represent mom, doesn't represent you, but he's represent the children, and he'll make recommendations so he feels in their best interest. And I'm going to have to set this on a docket for where you're the only thing I have. And I'm pretty sure, is Mr. Glass on the docket for tomorrow? The live docket?
Beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I do see him on the docket.
Okay, good. All right, then. So I'll get to talk to Mr. Glass tomorrow, where I can see about getting a date that he can appear in this matter. As far as your case is concerned, and I'm thinking about making this a live case, folks, and making everybody show up on my next. Is Mr. Glass on the middle of the month docket?
Yes, Your Honor. Several cases.
Yes, Your
All right,
Honor.
then. All right, guys. I'm looking at going ahead and setting this for live before the judge, and I'm looking at doing it. I got a docket tomorrow on the 5th, and then I have one on the 19th. I'm going to go ahead and look at resetting y'all for hours worth of hearing, at least on the 19th, and making y'all come into the main courtroom where I can get your on the witness stand under oath and get Mr. Glass's input on what we need to do going forward. Because nothing I change, and nothing I do here would change before March the 1st anyway, except for possible visitation. But I'm going to first off, I'm going to need this, each of your permission for the state to give Mr. Glass your phone numbers and your email addresses so he can contact you to start at least the preliminary information of trying to do figure out what he wants to do in behalf of your children. So I'm going to start with you, ma'am. Is it all right for the state to give Mr. Glass your information?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sorry.
All right. How about you, sir? Telephone number and email.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. I hate to make you come into the courtroom if we want to get something done, and I can get in on the day where I can actually give you a couple of hours, an hour and a half, maybe. That will be the 19th, and that's going to be the live docket. So, can you make that docket, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. How about you, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, appoint the lawyer. I'm going to reset you guys to the 19th for the live docket here at my courtroom. All the information will be in that reset order, and that way we'll meet all the criteria for everybody being on notice at least 3 days ahead of time that we're going to look at the issues of modifying the visitation package, modifying the child support, and setting up everything else going forward as per the prior court order, especially dealing with the use of app close going forward to verify pickup and drop off. And the main thing I want to see is a copy of that order from the district court or the county court that allows you to be around children, sir, to make sure that I can do that and where I can set it up and how I can set it up. So that's what I'm looking at. If someone named Kirk Glass calls either one of you, he's the children's lawyer, and you can tell him your side of the story and tell him what you want to try to do and why you want to do it. But again, he doesn't have to go along with either of you. He can go along with one of you. He can go along with both of you, or he can go his own path because he is a lawyer and he will do what he feels is in your children's best interest. So I will start with you, sir. Questions at this point, and as far as the reset and coming back and taking care of this on Wednesday the 19th live.
No, that's fine with me. I don't have no questions.
All right, ma'am, how about you?
Well, I guess he's still not gonna pick them up until after the 19th, right? Like, to see what,
Current orders is still in effect, ma'am, and he'll have to contact you through AppClose to get that taken care of. Like I said, I'm not changing anything in that order, but I will look at changing it on the 19th. But again, ma'am, here's the deal. I can set things up, but the only thing I can make people do is pay child support. Okay, I can't make them do anything else above and beyond that. Well, I'm sorry, I can enforce that part of the order. I cannot enforce a visitation order.
okay,
All right. All right, guys, I'll see you on the 19th live here in downtown Belton. If you have, like I said, if Mr. Glass has not contacted y'all by next Monday, give him a call. Okay, his information will be in the reset order also. But I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow and ask him to make sure he gets both of y'all a call before the end of the week if he can. Okay.
okay,
Right, because again, I don't know what his court schedule is like for the rest of the week. You know, he may be busy, he may not be, but I'll ask he try to get a hold of both of y'all before then, and the state's going to allow that, give him y'all's. They're going to email it to him. They will not put it in the order. Okay, we don't want that out because the order is going to be part of the public record. So, all right, Ms. Bongat, anything else on this one before we come back on the 19th?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then, ma'am and sir. Like I said, I'll see you on the 19th. And if you have any, if you have questions, Mr. Glass, it's left up to him to answer if he wants to answer them. But he'll answer any questions that deal directly what he's going to do as far as representing your children. Okay.
okay.
All right. All right. See everybody live on the 19th. We're off the record.